Virtual Beings News Summary October 8, 2025. Roxy deployed AI presenters to front a music TV channel, scripting introductions and trivia around artists and songs, while OpenAI's Sora Cameo capabilities signaled a production workflow where individuals generate hyper-realistic self-avatars for on-camera use. FastStream Interactive simultaneously advanced AI hosts for interactive TV music blocks, illustrating how virtual presenters and hyper-realistic avatars are entering mainstream programming and creator pipelines. Shy positioned Ani and related companions within Grok, with reporting on companion features and a role seeking to train Grok ahead of gaming, indicating an intent to blend companions with gameplay or game-adjacent experiences. In parallel, Ready Player Me's continued investor visibility emphasized cross-title avatar identity as a persistent layer for players. Quazu, through its Singapore entity Symphony Tech, launched Fantasy to court overseas users with AI companions, while analysis of Southeast Asia's market characterized these agents as responsive, adaptive virtual companions rather than legacy NPCs, marking a shift toward relationship-oriented social AI. Antix introduced an AI-driven platform for building hyper-realistic digital humans and avatars for multi-industry deployment, positioning digital human systems as a service layer for customer engagement, media, and interactive applications. Advances in virtual try-on demonstrated precise garment transfer onto digital models using segmentation and latent space techniques, supporting e-commerce visualization and avatar-based styling workflows without enumerating specific retail deployments. The FTC's inquiry into AI companion chatbots focused on risks to minors, and public objections to AI videos of deceased celebrities highlighted consent and dignity issues in synthetic character creation and distribution, framing near-term guardrails for virtual beings in consumer contexts. iCyber deploys presenter generation to create AI-driven hosts, and Dan Hostel Copenhagen uses a staffed digital human for guest-facing roles, showing practical on-camera and on-premise performance by synthetic presenters designed for scripted delivery and hospitality service. BBC Studios sets a transparency stance on its AI usage in content workflows, while a high-profile case raised by Zelda Williams draws a line against unauthorized AI recreations of deceased performers, collectively marking boundaries around performance rights, consent, and disclosure in digital human entertainment pipelines. Good Job Games recruits AI engineers to shape player experiences with adaptive character logic, and Rovio, part of Sega, seeks a principal AI engineer, indicating a production focus on more responsive avatars and NPCs in live game environments. Parallel creator ecosystems provide production-grade components for digital humans in game engines. Epic Games anchors the MetaHuman framework used for high-fidelity characters. Studio Ninjato supplies MetaHair 112 to deliver groomed hairstyles tuned to MetaHuman topology, and ancillary asset workflows align apparel and grooming with real-time constraints for cinematic and interactive character use. Candy AI offers an AI companionship product, branded as Candy AI Clone, that applies natural language processing to sustain contextual conversation with synthetic personas, illustrating a commercial path for always-on virtual beings optimized for retention and user-specific tone. TikTok supports VTuber creators operating avatar identities for audience growth and monetization, demonstrating a social distribution layer where virtual personas function as programmable brands across short-form formats. Unearth positions interactive digital humans as onboarding and employee experience agents capable of greeting, informing, and conducting policy or process guidance for new hires atop enterprise workflows. Upwork reflects downstream services demand by hosting briefs for avatar apparel design used in photos and videos, indicating an emergent vendor network that supplies character assets and branded looks for internal communications, training media, and campaign collateral. BBC Studios' stated commitment to audience transparency around AI, together with Zelda Williams' objection to AI-generated videos of her late father, frames an ethics baseline for digital humans that centers consent management, provenance disclosure, and respect for posthumous rights. These positions directly inform acceptable use policies for synthetic likeness, performance synthesis, and distribution, reinforcing that virtual beings require governance aligned with creator intent and stakeholder expectations. Koja Incorporated and AWE Incorporated are using the virtual human Mirai to demonstrate RWA tokenization, attempting to connect entertainment character assets with financial products. IDFC First Bank has introduced a digital avatar of Amitabh Bachchan in its stores, virtualizing brand entities and standardizing financial service explanations. OpenAI's Sora has announced a policy of seeking consent for the use of AI avatars by celebrities, strengthening the framework for rights and consent management in the commercial use of virtual entities. The above three companies are positioned complementary at each layer of the transformation of virtual talent into assets, services, and platforms. The Mingqi team, which originated at Shanghai Jiaotong University, is deploying AI avatars of doctors for clinical support, and is promoting their introduction into medical settings through a base in Changsha. In primary care settings in Germany, MFA avatars are handling reception and triage, reducing the burden of face-to-face work. Novartis and the Bei Kuiyuan Public Welfare Foundation are using digital avatars of doctors to streamline the production of patient education and disease explanations. Digital avatars and reception avatars are helping to alleviate labor shortages and standardize information provision in each step of medical guidance, education, and consultation. Hangzhou's Wanshan Digital Living District has introduced virtual characters that blink and move their faces to interact with visitors, enhancing the tourist experience in conjunction with AI emotional accompaniment products. Achi Music Universe has integrated AI digital characters with live performances, demonstrating a production process that combines live orchestration and synthesis elements with the reproduction of IP music from film and animation. The Deng Lijun Cultural and Educational Foundation is planning a cross-strait tour of its virtual character concerts, digitally recreating the repertoires of historical singers. These are examples of how virtual performers play a central role in the value of experiences in tourism facilities, live performances, and memorial and heritage projects. Shkoya deploys AI actors across multiple media, giving each character a unique background, voice, and personality, and integrating them into the production pipeline. The film Tron, Ares revolves around virtual people in a virtual world, promoting the dramatization of humanoid characters in a digital space. With the spread of synthetic video, the need for rights and licensing standards for virtual characters has emerged, and studio operations and legal system design are now moving in tandem. The Hangzhou Internet Court's first ruling determined that virtual digital people are not copyright holders, suggesting the need to combine them with other legal protections, such as personal rights, portrait rights, trademarks, and unfair competition. The consent requirements for celebrity AI avatars on OpenAI's Sora put consent management at the forefront of practical operations, pointing to a trend towards strengthening governance in platform terms and conditions, given the absence of rights holders and the intertwining of multiple layers of rights. IDFC First Bank's in-store avatar is an example of standardizing financial literacy explanations and standardizing the customer experience, and along with the MFA avatar at medical reception, it demonstrates a concrete example of corporate operations in which digital humans take over some of the frontline work. The introduction of the Bunsen Digit Living Block is a use case that can be applied to permanent use in companies and facilities, as it digitizes in-house operations across visitor guidance, exhibition guides, and product promotion. The Tang Lijun Cultural and Educational Foundation is reviving singers' repertoires through a virtual concert, paired with a live performance by the Wan Singers Troupe, to preserve and share cultural memory. This initiative presents a methodology for using virtual performers to expand the availability of legacy assets in cultural projects aimed at commemorating and reenacting memories. Kogia Company Limited, Awe Company Limited, IDFC First Bank, OpenAI, Sora, Shanghai Jiaotong University's Mingqi Entrepreneurship Team, Hangzhou Wenzhen Digital Life Block, Aachen Music Universe, Teresa Tang Cultural and Educational Foundation, Bei Sound Orchestra, Hangzhou Internet Court, Novartis, Beithun Foundation, Shkoya, Tron, Ares Production and Distribution Related Party, Workname, Maikishu. At the International Rose Convention in Beijing, the character Xiao Maiyue is presented both as a traditional mascot and as an AI digital human with event-specific application scenarios, positioning the virtual being as a cultural touchpoint that augments audience engagement during a heritage-themed gathering. The account underscores novelty and symbolism but supplies no details about creation teams, technical architectures, or deployment platforms, and it does not associate the activation with any company name. Xining's employment initiative applies two complementary virtual being roles: a digital human that continuously interprets and communicates employment policies to citizens, and an AI job-seeking assistant that matches candidates to roles in real time, achieving a single-day engagement figure of 480. The implementation illustrates repeatable guidance and transactional assistance in a government service workflow. However, the text provides no attribution to vendors, creators, or specific technologies beyond the functional descriptions, and it does not list any companies involved. Decoding Artificial Sociality, Technologies, Dynamics, Implications examines photorealistic CGI virtual influencers as social media native personas, tracing how their aesthetic realism, production pipelines, And platform logics position them as aspiring influencers while foregrounding the tensions between human likeness and algorithmic authorship. The work dissects the juxtaposition of authenticity claims, follower engagement, and commercialized identity performance to explain how these virtual humans operate within influencer economies and shape audience perceptions of sociality. Artificial Intelligence Influencer Attributes and User Engagement Reports, an empirical study using a validated instrument to link specific AI influencer attributes to engagement outcomes, situating the surge of virtual influencers since COVID-19 within social media marketing, and identifying how perceived credibility, attractiveness, interactivity, and content fit drive user responses. The study highlights Instagram's virtual influencers as a core context for measuring engagement mechanics and brand collaboration effectiveness. The Uncanny Valley effect in embodied conversational agents offers a critical systematic review of how attractiveness, anthropomorphism, and uncanniness interact in essays, synthesizing evidence that increasing human likeness can trigger discomfort and avoidance. The review maps methodological differences across studies, clarifies boundary conditions for avatar and digital human design, and distills practical implications for tuning facial realism, motion quality, and social cues to mitigate uncanny responses in synthetic characters. A comparative analysis of social perceptions of AI romance analyses ego networks derived from news and community text to chart narratives around AI-based romantic relationships, showing how publics frame AI companions through themes of intimacy, stigma, utility, and risk. By contrasting media discourse with community talk, the study identifies how agency, consent, and emotional authenticity are negotiated when users form attachments to non-human partners presented as virtual beings. AI Restored Independence Activist Videos and Collective Memory Formation examines TikTok comments on quiz format. AI Restored Historical Videos posted by the Heroes of Korea channel, showing how restoration and synthetic enhancement shape collective memory among digital natives. The paper details patterns of learning, validation, and contestation in comment networks, and explains how algorithmically processed, lifelike renderings of historical figures function as approachable digital human representations in participatory memory practices. Avatar Votan, 4D Virtual Try-On for Animatable Avatars, introduces a framework that dresses animatable avatars from a single in-shop garment image, while enabling free viewpoint and pose control. It proposes the reciprocal flow rectifier to reduce view-pose coupling artifacts, and the non-linear deformer, a view-pose-aware Gaussian decomposition with shared offsets, to transfer garment deformations coherently, yielding temporally consistent geometry and appearance for avatar-centric virtual try-on. ID Consistent Precise Expression Generation, with blend shape guided diffusion, presents a diffusion approach for digital human faces that maintains identity under arbitrary expressions by conditioning on flame blend shape parameters via an expression cross-attention module. An expression adapter trained on diverse image and video data generalizes to subtle micro-expressions and transitions, and a pluggable reference adapter transfers appearance from a reference frame for faithful expression editing of real images, improving controllability for production pipelines. To make sure you never miss a new video and to help us reach more great viewers like you, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon under the subscribe tab for notification.